Okay, time for a level 4 problem. So let's look at this one. Now, what makes this a level 4 problem? Well, I think the thing that stands out right here is this 3x, right? That has always been an even number, and it is not even. So that kind of causes a problem. Let's see if it actually does cause a problem. Maybe it doesn't. So let's go to our box. Go to the box. And I go to the box, and I take that x squared. I put it here, and that becomes x times x equals x squared. I take that 3x, and I divide it into 2. Well, that's 3 halves x and 3 halves x. And what I have to multiply by both? Well, I had to multiply by 3 halves and 3 halves, which makes this thing become 9/4. So this works. Guess what? We're going to be able, so while, yeah, 9/4 isn't the same thing as 1, we can do the things we've been doing. We can make it work. So guess what? We can still do it. Now, the problem is most people don't like fractions. We just don't, right? So what we're going to do is, this box method still works, so we can do it for anything. It will always, always, always work. But there is a better way. We can do it without doing fractions. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's erase that. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. So we're going to do this without fractions, right? So again, we could still do it with fractions, but we're not going to. So what I'm going to do is I want to take that 3x and I want to make it, even. So your first thought might be, well, let's multiply it by 2, right? That would make it even, so let's do it. So remember, if I'm going to multiply by 2, I have to multiply everything by 2. So this becomes 2x squared plus 6x plus 2 equals 10. Well, that's nice, right? That 6x is a nice even thing. So now, I'm just going to solve that guy. That's what I'm going to solve. I'm not going to solve the x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals 5. I'm going to solve this problem. So let's do it. Let's make a box and solve that one. So I take that 2x squared, I put it in here, and now I got to divide that up into 2 different pieces. Now, this causes a little bit of a problem, right? Most people would say, let's do that. Well, we can't, because we are turning these things into perfect square. This is not a perfect square anymore. This is actually going to create a rectangle, right? Our lengths of our sides are unequal, so that doesn't work. Now, could we make it work? Absolutely. If we want to make this a perfect square, if we want to make these squares, we can absolutely do it. How do we do it? Actually, hold on. I want my box back. How do we do it? Let's make it work. So I'm going to take that 2x squared, and it's going to be, well, the square root. Come on now. Come on. Okay. It's going to be the square root of 2 times x and the square root of 2 times x, because the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. X times x is x squared, and bam, that's a nice thing, and we can make it work. But square root of 2, working with roots, might even be worse than working with fractions. So I think we can do it without working with fractions, and I think we can do it without working with square roots. So let's do that. So let's just use the eraser. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. So instead of working with this problem, what I'm going to do is I still want to make that 3x positive. I still want to make it even, but multiplying by 2 didn't work because that first term, that x squared term, wasn't a perfect square. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to multiply through by 4. Why 4? Because 4 is a nice perfect square. So this becomes 4x squared plus 12x plus 4 equals 20. Let's see if it meets our requirements. First term is a perfect square? Check. 12x is even? Check. Okay, so that looks really good. Let's check and see if it actually is really good, though, because maybe it isn't. So putting it into our square. So I take 4x squared, I divide it up into 2 pieces, 2x and 2x. I take that 12x, I divide it up into 2 pieces, so 6x, 6x. And 2, so what I have to multiply? I had to multiply by 3. That's nice. 3 times 3 is 9. So that looks great, right? That's a perfect square. The only thing, of course, being different is 9 is not the same as 4, but we know how to deal with that, right? If I add 5 to both sides, I will get 9, and we are good to go. So let's finish this up. So I get 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals 25. We already know that 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 is the same thing as 2x plus 3. and that equals 25, which means, whoops, something squared equals 25, which means 2x plus 3 equals 5, or negative 5. Subtracting 3 from everything, we get 2x equals 2, or negative 8. Dividing by 2, I get x equals 1, or negative 4. That's a 1, by the way. Bam! Super easy, right? Okay. Maybe not super easy, but not too bad. Let's do another one. So, again, I'm sorry, before we do, let's just remind ourselves of what we did. So, on this one, what we did, right, is we had an odd number here, and we had to turn it into an even number. And we did that by multiplying through by 4. Why 4? Because 4 is a perfect square. So let's do another one. So let's go to my new one. Let's do this one. I'm going to take x squared minus 5x plus 6, and that equals 2. So why don't you stop the video right now and see what you can do. Okay, so hopefully you stopped the video and you saw what you could do, because now I'm going to see what I can do, right? So first thing we want to do is we look at that negative 5x, and we don't want it to be negative 5. We want it to be a nice even number. And remember, we're not going to multiply by 2. We are going to multiply by a perfect square, an even perfect square, which is 4. So I can multiply everything through by 4. So I get 4x squared minus 20x plus 24x equals 8. Did I do that right? Yes, I think I did. Okay, that looks really good. Let's see if it is. So off to the side here, I'm going to make my box. And that first term is 4x squared, which we get by getting 2x times 2x. That middle term is negative 20x, which divided into 2 equal parts, which is negative 10x. Negative 10x, so 2x times what equals negative 10x? Well, that would be negative 5. And then negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So we want those two things to be positive 25. Oops. Did you see the mistake I made? I see the mistake I made. This was supposed to be 24, not 24x. So, boom. Let's change that back to 24. Sorry if it confused you. I'm not going to go change it, though. Okay. I know. So, sorry. I've done a bunch of these videos. Live with it. Okay. So, I want to turn that 24 into a 25. What do? I add 1 to both sides. So, we get 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 equals 9. And this is super easy to solve, right? We get 2x minus 5 quantity squared equals 9, which means something squared equals 3 or negative 3. Not something squared. The stuff inside the parentheses had to equal 3 or negative 3. Solving that, we get 2x equals subtracting 5. We get negative 2 or negative 8, which means x equals, divided by 2, negative 1 or negative 4. Bam! We did it. Awesome. Last one we're going to be doing is a level 5, and then we are done. You are golden. There will be nothing left that I can give you that you can't solve.